94 Rocks, Jay-Z hanging out once again. And yes, it's time to get to know a band we play here on 94 Rocks. And I have with me Kristyn Hope. She is the lead singer of the band Daedric. And first of all, looks like you're enjoying a beautiful day down in Texas. How are things down there?
Things are great, and thanks for having me.
Hey, so let's chat about a little bit about the project and the band and all that. Daedric, can you give us some information, kind of the story of how this all came about?
Cool. Well, about 5 years ago, our producer Jeff Rockwell, he reached out to me on Facebook of all things, and he basically had this whole cold call speech where he said, "I have an idea," and you know, we gave him a chance, and we met with him, and he pitched the idea of doing a dark synthwave style project, and I was interested in, at least attempting that. So we started with Wretched, and we did like the track itself, the music video, promo photos, packaged it all up, and pitched that to Fixed, and they were sold, and they took a chance on us. And from then, we just kept growing, and eventually, and we re-embraced the metal concept, so that got pulled in pretty quickly when they learned that I could scream, and so that was a pretty easy route to go, and it was just very natural for all of us. And it's been really fun to explore both those really heavy dynamics as well as the lighter dynamics, and sometimes interplay both of them together.
Well, if you listen to 94 Rocks, and I know our listeners do, we know that you can scream. That's for sure. With your latest song that we're spinning here called Night Mother. We'll get to that in just a moment. Quick question, and I know you probably get asked this a lot with the name of the band. Where did that come from? How did it all come about?
Yes, so if you know anything about gaming or nerd culture, Daedric comes from a game series called The Elder Scrolls, specifically from Skyrim. That's the game that I play the most. And it is just a term that is used there, and it's an armor type, but also there's a race called the Daedra, which are basically like demons in the plane of Oblivion. So that's where that comes from.
Okay. Well, when I went to the gaming side of things, this was back in the Atari, the first Nintendo, all that stuff. So maybe I'm dating myself a little bit, but hey, I can respect that. That's all cool. And I know that's a huge industry, isn't it now, the gaming world?
Yes, yes, it's just exploded, and I love how in depth all of these games have gotten with their lore and just the gameplay, just the open world especially. It's just so immersive, and I love it.
I guess I haven't done a ton of research on you, but are you some of your music on some of the current gaming stuff that's out there, or is that a goal of yours to maybe have some of that put on it? Because I know there are artists that do get their music put on games.
Yes, so I'm always open to more, but we did have placements on VR Smash Drum for songs like Sepulchre and Dawnbreaker from the Mortal album. And then also we got placement on Ubisoft's Rainbow Six Siege for Abandon, the collab track that I did with Andromeda. And that was a huge surprise to all of us. It was amazing.
Very cool. Very cool. We're talking with Kristyn with the band Daedric, and of course, we're spinning their latest song called Night Mother. Let's talk about that a little bit. And we just received this a couple weeks ago, and this isn't a song that's it's a lullaby. It's a hard hitter, isn't it?
Yes, yes. It comes out of the gate just angry and aggressive, and then kind of pulls it back, and then comes in again with the hard chorus. And it's definitely a song that wakes you up.
What is there a certain meaning for you that it's there for? Obviously, we know music is interpreted for everybody with a different meaning, but I guess how did you want it to be interpreted, or at least your meaning to it?
So it has a little bit of a multiple meaning. I'd say at least a double meaning. If you play the game series at all, there is a quest line called the Dark Brotherhood where there's a figurehead called the Night Mother, and she's essentially a talking mummy that gives you these instructions on quests and jobs to do as an assassin, essentially. And so she's this like figurehead, and it's a huge part of the game. Everyone does this quest. It's like one of the best quests. And within this quest, there's this aspect of trust and lies, and that plays into the song itself. And then I also folded in some personal experiences, personal relationships, and my experiences with those to make those lyrics come together in a way that can mean something to someone who only knows the gameplay, or if you don't play at all, it's still very relevant. I've even had people come up to me on tour and tell me how much that song specifically meant to them and helped them deal with some of their relationships that they had gone through, whether it was loss or love or a little bit of both.
Okay, cool. You mentioned influences that. Let's talk about that. Growing up as a kid and that, what were some of your influences and even like maybe currently today?
Ooh, some of my influences growing up. Well, I grew up actually on classical music. So things
Okay.
like Beethoven, Chopin,
Yeah.
and musicals like Phantom of the Opera and Fiddler on the Roof. So that was my early start. And it wasn't until late high school that I really got into rock music. I wasn't exposed to any of it. And so when I came across it, I found bands like Linkin Park, Three Days Grace, metal bands like Asking Alexandria, ASN, some of those like early scene core bands. And I mixed a little bit of that together with my exposure of the classical stuff and my love of R&B and even pop music like Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Christina Aguilera. All of those kind of swam together in the same water and have created an interesting fusion for me in terms of
Yeah,
my
very
interests
eclectic.
and my and things that inspire me.
Yeah,
Quite
yeah.
so.
Yeah, well, it's great. I mean, and that's, it's nice not to actually just have one genre of music. And I've actually talked to a lot of artists kind of similar to you when it comes to starting out in the classical and then they go into the hard rock, heavy metal, just because even the voice training, I mean, how it takes, I'm sure it's not just easy just getting up there and screaming. I mean, we all can scream, but we sound then like idiots probably when we do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a controlled thing. It's not something you just people think, oh, when I scream, it's just this crazy uncontrolled thing, but it's actually a lot more dialed in. I would say even more so than singing. With singing, you can sing with a little bit more abandonment, and with screaming, it's very much dialed in.
Yeah, and I mean, I've never met you in person, but I've seen some photos, and it doesn't seem like you're a very big girl. And I don't know where that big voice comes from, but it's in there. It is in there, isn't it?
Yeah, I get that a lot. People are like, where is it coming from? Um, a lot of it is, just breath support and knowing how to place your voice. You don't necessarily have to be of any particular size or stature or even athleticism. Personally, like I believe that working out helps with things like stamina
Right.
and longevity with your voice, and also just overall being healthy. But um, a lot of it is just learning vocal techniques over time and making sure to take care of your voice.
Let's talk about last month. You were busy. You were on the road. In fact, you just told me today is your first day that you've had to have a break, and that's because you were touring. Talk about that and how successful and fun was that last month?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. It's been a whirlwind. It feels like more than a month. I I was talking with everyone else on the tour, and it just feels like it's been a lifetime that we started the tour till now. And it was my favorite tour experience to date to go on the tour of Vola. I had only heard of them before, and I briefly listened to them, and I was like, this is cool, this is cool. And then when we started touring with them, and I really got to listen to their music and get to know them as people, it just blossomed into this beautiful friendship, and we all got really close, and I fell in love with their music, and they all likewise did for us, and they ended up inviting me to do Cannibal with them on tour, and that was just so much fun. And everywhere we went was just a crazy experience of a different venue, different day, and I just it was such a whirlwind. But I have fallen in love with touring. I could tour
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
365.
You're hooked now, aren't
Yeah,
you?
Dangerous Game. I am. I am so excited for the next one, and I just can't imagine not doing it.
Well, leads into my next question. So you just finished this one up. You said you're going to take a little bit of a break here, but what is the next tour maybe? Is there one scheduled yet? Have you thought of that? Is there plans? Can you tell us?
Ooh, good question. So
Lots of
yes, we
questions,
will be taking some time off.
especially the can I tell you, right?
We right. So December we're going to be taking off to focus on starting the next album. And then in February we have a tour. We haven't announced it yet, so I don't want to say who it's with, but we do have a tour in February, as well as some headline shows to follow.
Hey, you can
And then
just tell
after
me,
that,
just you can just tell me right now. Nobody else is watching, so who's it gonna be? I'm just kidding.
okay. And then we just got into contact with European booking agents and,
Oh, yeah.
quote signed with them. So we will be going to Europe in probably mid to late summer next year.
I'm guessing that's the first time
It's a
then
matter
going to
of time.
Europe.
Yes, yes. I am so excited. I think it's going to be awesome. And just the demand that we've gotten from all the comments of come to Europe, come to this specific country. I feel like it's going to be incredible. And I know that they're going to love us. And
So
we will love them, of course.
absolutely. Let's talk. So the touring side of things, obviously, there's a wide range of bands that you could go out with, but give me some bands that you'd be interested maybe in going out with in 2026. Maybe like just ones that would fit kind of where you want to be, and maybe a wish list band tour. I mean, so this is fun. We can
Mm.
have questions. We can dream, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I think after touring with a bunch of prog bands, which is awesome, I'd be curious to try a totally different genre and just see how that happens. And especially with us being a little more high energy and a little more on the EDM dance side, I could see us touring with bands like Hanabi, Baby Metal. I
Yeah.
could see us touring with a band like Liquid Foil, which is more of a legacy band, or even we have North Lane, we'd probably fit pretty well with. We could go more into metalcore, and then we can also go more into the rock side. It just kind of depends on who we're with. We're able to curate our set list to better fit each band, which is really cool,
Very
and it
cool.
makes it more dynamic.
Well, it says here
Yeah,
you're recommended for fans who like North Lane, Spirit Box, and Evanescence. So I'm assuming any of those bands that take you out on tour, you'd be happy with that, right?
absolutely. I mean, I'm open to basically any touring act. I think it's a lot of fun to get to know them as people, but also there's something really special about falling in love with the music on tour and really finding a true appreciation. Like I mentioned with Bola, I was able to fully appreciate their music rather than just passively listen. It's different, live to
Right.
feel all of that every night.
And obviously I've talked to a lot of different female front artists, the front bands and stuff, but there's gals that have paved the way for you, and now you guys are basically taking the bull by the horns and going with it. And there's some great, I mean, just amazing talent out there, and I'm assuming including yourself in that, it's got to be inspiring to see the door wide open for you guys.
Yeah, it's so exciting, and I've loved connecting with all kinds of artists, but especially other women who are doing similar things because you just get it and you understand what it's like being in this world, and it's also just exciting. It's like making friends. You see someone who's doing something similar to you. They understand like what it takes to do that. They understand the culture and just the hard work that it takes to do it. And there's something just natural about meeting them. So even meeting Christina from the Quinnifoil, that was just awesome because she's been in this industry for 20 plus years, and she was one of the original people to pave the way and take on the harder side of that so that people like me could walk through that door like you said.
We're talking with Kristen from the band Daedric, and you've got something exciting coming up here in the middle of the month. You've got a new album coming out on October 17th called As the Light Left. Talk about that.
Well, where do I start? This album has meant so much to me personally. I wasn't expecting to get so deep with it. But going into this album, we knew we wanted to really embrace the heavy side, but also push the dynamics of the softer stuff. So when you listen to this album in the order in the sequence that we put it, it has a journey of self discovery and self realization that is very interesting because it still includes a lot of the lore and a lot of the aspects of the gaming side of what we're doing. But it's also deeply personal to me. There was a lot of things that I had to look into the mirror and not look away. And those are things that I wrote about that were difficult to talk about. And even as we've been releasing the singles, I find myself feeling like I'm publishing a page of my diary. And it's both cathartic and also terrifying. But I've loved, the reception of everything, the connection that people have made personally, and even things that they've mentioned of like it involves this quest and there's these ties to the game, things that I didn't even fully realize, but when they say it, it makes complete sense. And I just think that's incredible that the fans are able to make those kinds of connections themselves.
That's awesome. Got to ask this question, probably a hard question to ask is, and all the songs are your favorite on the album, of course, but is there
Mhm.
some that
Mhm.
really like gravitate really to the heart, maybe? Is there some that you really enjoy or want or excited to play live? I mean, what are some of those maybe?
Oh, that's a good question. All of them have been really fun to create, and there's some that are just absolute fun to play because the beat and the style of it is just really fun. Like Sand Tiger is always a good time. Um, but personally, my favorite to perform is Dark Legacy. It's one of the softer tracks. It's one of the most deeply personal tracks. And I found myself when I was performing it on tour, it was such a climactic moment for me emotionally to sing that song. And um, it's just one that I think I'll always connect with.
Awesome. Well, I know we got to get going here because you've got some stuff planned and to do, but I enjoyed the time with you and get to a little bit know more about you and also the band, and that is Daedric. I guess if people wanted more information about your band, how to get the music, and of course the album coming out on October 17th, how can they do that?
They can visit our website at daedricofficial.com. It has everything you need.
That's simple, right?
Yep, that's
That's
it.
awesome. That's awesome. Christy, thanks so much for joining me. Have yourself a great time and looking forward to seeing maybe. I know you said you've been to Minnesota before, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So, but you said, have you been up here in the when it's been cold, Kristen?
I have been in the winter and it is
Ah.
horrifying, but I will gladly come again because the people were so kind.
How about have you ever ice fish? You ever walked on ice?
Ooh, I have not, but I'm willing to give it a try.
Okay. Well, if you can, if you would you dive out of an airplane?
Ooh,
Skydive? Probably not.
maybe not. I'm a
Okay.
little afraid of heights, I have
Okay,
to
well,
admit.
it's not that danger. It's not as dangerous, but I mean, there's a little element to it. You just don't want to go out when there's like 2 inches of ice. That's all I'm saying. So you got to have a little bit more.
That's
Even
good
though,
to know.
even though you're small, and then there's a lot of guys that like to go out like 2 inches of ice so they can catch that 10-pound walleye because that's the best fishing time they say. But no, it's you got to have at least about 5, 6 inches of ice to walk on. So we'll take care of you. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I look forward to it.
Once again, that is Kristyn Hope. She is the lead singer from the band Daedric. Their latest song we're spinning right here at 94 Rocks, and that is called Night Mother. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you.